This is the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney with a quick check on what's going on. So here's my man to get into it.
Happy Friday, made it to the weekend. Well, just in time for up to 20 inches of snow in the weather forecast for us here in the Northeast. I mean, much of the country is about to get hit with snow, ice. Man, be careful out there. Hey, I have cold beer, Wolf Brand chili, and playoff football on TV. I'll be good. Taylor Swift will be the youngest ever inducted in this class of the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Kenny Loggins, Alanis Morissette, kisses Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons too. And this guy named Christopher Tricky Stewart wrote a lot of hits for Beyonce, Rihanna, Mary J. Yeah, that was announced earlier this week. And look, say what you want about Taylor, but girl can write a song. I like blaming my daughter for liking her and all, wink, wink. But real talk, Cornelia Street, Delicate. This is a couple of my favorites, but she has a long list of great examples of why it's well-earned. Big ups. And can we please be done messing with folks in Greenland and Canada? I mean, this has got to be the stupidest shit. Look, no politics zone and all. My show, I made the rule, no politics. But this is like running outside and picking a fight with your best friend who lives down the street. Canada is literally our closest ally, like our siblings. You know, we sneak in their room, take some Molson Triple X, and they sneak in our room and take a bottle of Jack Daniels. Fair trade. Everybody's buzzed. Why piss off that sibling? I mean, knowing Canada, they might even ask before sneaking in the room.
My favorite stories of the day.
Okay, first story right off the bat. We get to play Were They Drunk or High? Now, any one of us who have used Lyft or Uber knows the apps track the vehicle, so we'll know when they're pulling up. But this 37-year-old woman in Miami is accused of not really keeping that in mind when Local 10 News is reporting she requested a Lyft from a Family Dollar store on the south side of town last Monday night, the 12th, 8:45, so it was dark. And cops later told Local 10 when the driver showed up, she asked for his help loading the groceries into the back. And when he got out to put the bags in the Honda Accord, she jumped in the driver's seat and took off. Drove home, even with her groceries in the back. And hopefully she got to unload the groceries once she got home because cops tell Local 10 it did not take them long to find her. These Lyft and Uber drivers, you know, they usually have their phones cradled in one of those holders up there by the windshield so they can see the GPS route mapped out for the passengers, which means this 37-year-old woman probably saw the phone because cops say it was in there. Yeah, cops say they let the driver call his girlfriend. She came, called up her Find My iPhone app, and from there, the cops say they just followed the dot right to her house, where they say she was getting back into the car with some others, but they didn't go anywhere. Well, she did, to where police take mug shots, charged, held in jail on bond. But before they booked her, Local 10 is reporting cops got a little nosy and searched her purse. Drunk or high? Either way, it would explain a lot in terms of who would think to do this, especially since officers say they found a pink glass pipe with cocaine residue and a Xanax pill in her purse. And they say her license had been suspended for over 2 years. They didn't say why, but enough had been explained here. And we'll stick around my favorite state of Florida because north of Miami and West Palm Beach, still on the Atlantic side in Stewart, where WPBF News 25 is reporting some potty-mouthed guy was caught shoplifting inside a Publix grocery store last Thursday afternoon. So workers called police, but they say he was acting crazy, cursing out store workers, no fighting or hitting. But they say the dude was obviously hot and bothered. And by the time Martin County Sheriff's deputies got there, they say he'd already bounced, left the store, cursed out everybody he passed by while walking to a nearby Panera bread shop. Not to order a panini sandwich, but to go to the bathroom. Not to pee-pee or poo-poo, but to put a 12-gauge shotgun slug in his mouth. Not to chew or pose for pictures, but to light. With a lighter is what deputies tell WPBF the guy was holding up to the 12-gauge slug when they walked in the restroom. They say they thought at first he was smoking drugs until they realized it was a shotgun slug, and they think he was trying to smoke himself, or maybe one of the deputies if that slug exploded outward, but it did not. The sheriff says they snatched the lighter and found he had 2 shotgun slugs. They took them and him to jail, booked the guy on several charges, but the sheriff said he planned on getting him some mental help, so no high or drunk question there. Just hope the man gets that help. And oh, I do not have to ask here because she was high. I mean, hell, that's the only reason this is a story. Out of East Texas, it's where KLTV7 in Tyler is reporting this 43-year-old woman was on a video call with an inmate locked up in the Cherokee County Jail, and the county sheriff's office did not say if somebody was monitoring the video chat or happened to pass by and see it, but did say somebody in some way saw this 43-year-old woman smoking meth on that video call with the inmate. I mean, maybe she was doing it in that inmate's honor. Maybe it's some kink. Or maybe meth makes the user feel like they have to smoke every few minutes and couldn't resist the urge. I don't know. Never used meth. But since sheriff's deputies say she did, while some officer or snitch was watching, deputies thought it might be a good idea to use this to get a search warrant. And KLTV7 is saying they did and went and found 46 grams of meth, some weed, and a gun. The sheriff say they charged her for all of it. Now, the question is, who can call her on a video chat? Let's keep it going because the 43-year-old's in jail, and that mugshot looks like she was not having a good day or life. Back in a moment, but before the break, a word from the Jams podcast.
Blazing the best hip-hop, R&B, reggae, soca.
You can download the Jams podcast mix for free. Just Google search Jams Podcast Mix.
It's Jams Hour Mix with Greg H.
Been arrested for throwing a freak-off party?
Or for being video recorded relieving yourself on a teen girl in bed? The law firm of McCracken and Butts is the team for you.
Call McCracken and Butts at 212.
And now for the world around us.
If keeping track, one would have noticed every story in that first section had something to do with somebody lighting up something. And why stop a good thing? The streak continues here. Guy up in British Columbia's city of Kelowna is said to have driven by a BC Highway Patrol officer around 10:30 in the morning back on Tuesday the 6th when Czech News is reporting the guy rolled by with a pipe in his mouth. The Mounties took that as an invitation to pull over the 56-year-old driver, and a statement from BC Highway Patrol reads, the man told him he was only smoking marijuana in the pipe. Now, weed has been legal in Canada since 2018, but that's not quite the point. For one, driving while impaired, that's still a charge. And two, cops say dude was actually smoking crack. Again, no need to ask if drunk or high here. The whole reason this is a story is this 56-year-old is accused of giving up the game with a crack pipe in his mouth while driving by Highway Patrol. And this is 10:30 in the morning. He really wanted wake and bake, which is not something they can do in jail. If criminal charges get tacked on once lab results come back on that P test. Along the coastline of East Sussex in southeast England, uncooked French fries and onions. A lot of it all from 2 containers that fell off 2 cargo ships during a storm earlier this month. CNN is reporting folks went out and started cleaning this up last Tuesday the 13th, and boy, did they have their hands full. CNN is saying there were thousands of bags of French fries at first, but an environmental group asked volunteers to come, and they did manage to go through the piles to take off all the plastic bags that the fries were in, so piles of loose French fries and onions were all over the beach. Should see these pictures. We have to post these on social media. Along with one of the containers was washed ashore. It was in the background. The environmental group jumped on Facebook last Sunday to ask more volunteers to come out. And it may sound weird for the group to just tear open bags of fries to pour them all over the beach, along with all the onions filling up the beach that were already there, by the way. But, it's not weird if you think about it. I mean, no onions and fries grilling on the sand or anything like that. No, the environmentalists were making sure to empty the bags to take them so, animals could eat whatever's left once they're done cleaning up without plastic in it. Because they know marine life like seals will eat whatever, especially a plastic bag that they say looks like jellyfish in the water. So, volunteers help big time. A local council person posted on Facebook they collected 1.9 tons of fries and onions on that Thursday alone. Meanwhile, the UK's Coast Guard is tracking down the container ship from which they fell. They should have a sandy cookout. All right, in Vietnam's city of Da Nang. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I suspect I'm butchering it. But police are investigating this tourist in Da Nang who had bananas taped all around his body. So cops think he may as well admit he was teasing the monkeys because they're monkeys, and monkeys usually love bananas. That and everybody knows they'll be there because the little monkeys are always there. They live on that mountain that he made his way up on a motorbike, driving up a winding road. The Straits Times newspaper had a couple pictures of this dude, almost looking like he was wearing a puffy yellow coat with matching yellow leggings with jean shorts and a helmet that, from one angle, did look a lot like a watermelon shell or rind. He did eventually leave after staff from a nearby resort heard somebody wrapped himself up in bananas to mess with the primates, and they went to where he was and pointed out kindly there are signs explicitly saying feeding the wild monkeys is not allowed, which is exactly why police there in Vietnam are investigating this tourist. Or they could have just let the fool go and let nature take its karmic course. I mean, the Straits Times news site had two related story links at the end of this one. One headline read, "Tourist bitten after interacting with monkeys in a Bali park despite warnings." And the other one, "Cambodian authorities warn tourists of increasing monkey aggression at Angkor Wat." Again, I might be butchering a name, but common denominator, tourists and monkeys. They don't mix. Back at...
Straight from J-Dub's Pigeon Coop. $5 a dozen for eggs laid minutes before, fresh out the mother pigeon. It can't get more organic than that. So swing by J-Dub's Rooftop Market at the corner of Clinton Avenue and South 17th in Newark. Drop by.
Where are you going looking like that?
Relationships can be tough if the significant other is like this.
Who is this guy who keeps liking all your posts? He in your DMs too?
So for women who need a break, there's Sibonac. This chewable gummy will relax your nerves, ease tensions, and help you forget you once had better options.
Sorry, I just had a lot on my mind.
Sibonac. Spelled forwards or backwards, Sibonac's fast-acting tetrahydrocannabinol.
What's up with what's going down, though?
I don't know. Couldn't find anything to talk about this time, so let me talk. Let me pull up this soapbox. I'm going to ramble. Don Lemon versus Nicki Minaj. Who on earth saw this coming? God didn't see this one. Any religious folks out there would have to admit that. I'm waking up and opening Instagram expecting my daily laugh from the rock star. You know, anybody following that guy who voice tracks over mostly dogs? Well, sometimes cats. It's always funny. The rock star. Dude is a straight up voiceover comedian. So, I'm jumping on for a second in the morning to look for that. Or anything, to make me laugh before getting up to face this world. But no, not Wednesday. Don Lemon calling Nicki Minaj an illegal immigrant, responding to whatever she said about him, and I did not care enough to know. Still don't. I just want to see some chef videos and corny dad jokes. Musicians, I'm loving those videos of the historical talks about how they came up with the songs they did. Give me some WNBA or Unrivaled Beauties, ballers. More of them. And a rock star. And less lemonade after menage a trois, like we need any more beef in this steakhouse.
This brief moment of peace. Thank you for manifesting.
Doing what you're doing, what you're doing, what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, boy. Boy, I was hurt. I say, let me get out of here and go to the package store. Keep doing what you're doing, what you're
Can you believe he got away with saying all that? Slammy Sammy with a classic. As we...
That does it for another Real Pod newscast. Thanks as always for listening, and please phone a friend, tell them to give a listen, and then follow and like. Hey, credits for the songs between the stories during the cast, always posted in the show's Facebook page. I may be a little late, but I do get around to posting them, and I try to answer everyone who hits me up, so please do. Through the show's website, on social media pages, on YouTube even. Hey, have a great weekend, everybody. Hopefully stay safe out there and warm out from the snow or ice. Hope we don't get that much back on Tuesday, and hope we won't be buried under snow.
This has been the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney from Show Enough Productions. And for more, hit up the website, realpodnewscast.com. That's real with 2 E's. This is Big Daddy Marty Allen. Thanks for listening.
They didn't say why, but okay. This could be written better and read better. Well, you can't read well, but you don't write well. I should say. I think I'll save that for the blooper. Sure enough.